The Republican National Committee is a U.S. political committee that provides national leadership for the Republican Party of the United States. It is responsible for developing and promoting the Republican political platform, as well as coordinating fundraising and election strategy. It is also responsible for organizing and running the Republican National Convention. Similar committees exist in every U.S. state and most U.S. counties, although in some states party organization is structured by congressional district, allied campaign organizations being governed by a national committee. Reince Priebus is the current Rnc chairman. The RNC's main counterpart is the Democratic National Committee. History: the 1856 Republican National Convention appointed the first RNC. It consisted of one member from each state and territory to serve for 4 years. Each national convention since then has followed the precedent of equal representation for each state or territory, regardless of population. From 1924 to 1952, there was a national committeeman and national committeewoman from each state and U.S. possession, and from Washington, D.C. in 1952, committee membership was expanded to include the state party chairs of states that voted Republican in the preceding presidential election, have a Republican majority in their congressional delegation, or have Republican governors. By 1968, membership reached 145. As of 2011, the RNC has 168 members. The only person to have chaired the RNC and later become U.S. President is George H.W. Bush. A number of the chairs of the RNC have been state governors. In 2013 the RNC began an outreach campaign toward American youth and minority voters, after studies showed these groups generally perceived that the Republican Party did not care about their concerns. Chairs of the Republican National Committee = Chairman Elections = 1993 Rnc Chairman Election, candidate won majority of votes in the round, candidate secured a plurality of votes in the round, candidate withdrew. 1997 Rnc Chairman Election, candidate won majority of votes in the round, candidate secured a plurality of votes in the round, candidate withdrew. Merrill and Narcross both dropped out after the 5th round, giving the chairmanship to Nicholson by acclamation. 2009 Rnc Chairman Election. On November 24, 2008 Steele launched his campaign for the RNC chairmanship with the launching of his website. On January 30, 2009, Steele won the chairmanship of the RNC in the 6th round, with 91 votes to Dawson's 77. Source: Politics and Poll Pundit. Candidate won majority of votes in the round, candidate secured a plurality of votes in the round, candidate withdrew. On announcing his candidacy to succeed RNC Chairman Duncan, former Maryland Lieutenant Governor Michael Steele described the party as being at a crossroads and not knowing what to do. "I think I may have some keys to open the door, some juice to turn on the lights," he said. 6 people ran for the 2009 RNC chairmanship: Steele, Ken Blackwell, Mike Duncan, Saul Anusias, Keaton Dawson and Chip Saltzman. After Saltzman's withdrawal, there were only 5 candidates during the hotly contested balloting January 30, 2009. After the 3rd round of balloting that day, Steele held a small lead over incumbent Mike Duncan of Kentucky, with 51 votes to Duncan's 44. Shortly after the announcement of the standings, Duncan dropped out of contention without endorsing a candidate. Ken Blackwell, the only other African-American candidate, dropped out after the 4th ballot and endorsed Steele, though Blackwell had been the most socially conservative of the candidates and Steele had been accused of not being sufficiently conservative. Steele picked up Blackwell's votes. After the 5th round, Steele held a 10-vote lead over Keaton Dawson, with 79 votes, and Saul Anusias dropped out. After the 6th vote, he won the chairmanship of the RNC over Dawson by a vote of 91 to 77. Mississippi Governor and former RNC Chair Haley Barbour has suggested the party will focus its efforts on congressional and gubernatorial elections in the coming years rather than the next presidential election. "When I was chairman of the Republican National Committee the last time we lost the White House in 1992 we focused exclusively on 1993 and 1994. And at the end of that time, we had both houses of Congress with Republican majorities, and we'd gone from 17 Republican governors to 31. So anyone talking about 2012 today doesn't have their eye on the ball. What we ought to worry about is rebuilding our party over the next year and particularly in 2010, Barber said at the November 2008 Republican Governors Conference. 2011 Rnc Chairman Election. Michael Steele ran for re-election at the 2011 Rnc winter meeting. Other candidates were Reince Priebus, Republican Party of Wisconsin Chairman, Ann Wagner, former ambassador to Luxembourg, Saul Anuzis, former Republican Party Chairman of Michigan, and Marie Orsino, former Acting Secretary of Transportation under George W. Bush. Steele's critics increasingly called on him to step down as Rnc chair when his term ended in 2011. A debate for chairman hosted by Americans for Tax Reform took place on January 3 at the National Press Club. The election for chairman took place January 14 at the Rnc's winter meeting with Reince Priebus winning on the 7th ballot after Steele and Wagner withdrew. Candidate won majority of votes in the round, candidate secured a plurality of votes in the round, candidate withdrew. Leadership and staff, co-chairman, Sharon Day, finance director, Ray Wasburn, director of coalitions, Angela Saylor, communications, Sean Spicer, director. Alison Moore, press secretary. Tyler Brown, deputy communications director, research director, Raj Shah. Congressional chairs of the 2012 Republican Party platform are Tennessee Representative Marsha Blackburn and North Dakota Senator John Lewin. Current Republican National Committee members. This is a list of the voting members of the Republican National Committee as of March 2014. The state chair, National Committeeman and National Committeewoman each receive one vote at RNC meetings and votes for RNC chairmanship. Parabellum Labs. In February 2014, during the chairmanship of Reince Priebus, the RNC launched an in-house technology incubator called Parabellum Labs. This new unit of the RNC was first headed by Azarias Reeder, an engineer with a Ph.D. in computer science from the University of Michigan. The effort is designed to help the party and its candidates bridge the technology gap. Parabellum, translated from Latin, means prepare for war. See also: Republican Party Presidential Debates, 2012, Republican Party Presidential Primaries, 2012, Results of the 2012 Republican Party Presidential Primaries, Republicans Overseas, Republicans Abroad Norway. References. External links, official website, Republican National Committee, news clippings and publications, 1932-65, Dwight D. Eisenhower Presidential Library, Parabellum Labs.